Shalom. Before I begin this video, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash, and also double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that continually rule very well to this very day, that is feeding the flock through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Shai. And also Shalom to the Hof elect that is also laboring this work as well. Is giving your diligence or your due diligence to make your call and election sure, in faith, in truth, and sincerity, and also in all charity. Now, the topic of this video is going to be entitled, Look Up, Your Salvation is Near. Okay, and this is going into the chariots that appeared before the New York camp, the main camp, and also the Chicago camp of Great Millstone, in which you had a fleet of chariots that appeared above the apostles and the elders and the brothers that also the other elders and the brothers in Chicago. And when they saw the fleet of chariots that were over them, and that just goes to show you that our salvation is getting ever so near, because now we're living in a time to where the chariots, which these people so-called UFOs, they're no longer hiding themselves. Okay, now they're making themselves known unto us, the men of the Lord, and also to the men and the people that are living here on the soils of Babylon the Great, which is known as America. Okay, because to us, as we see these chariots, we understand what that means. Okay, it means that our salvation is very near. But to the people, the rest of the people that see these chariots, to them, it's something of a strange work, and that to them, really, the end of the world is near. That's how they think. All right, in which that's true. The end of the world is near. The end of the world of Esau, the world of Edom, which that's the true biblical nationality of the so-called white man, and is also signaling or signifying the ushering in of our world. Okay, the world of Jacob, the world of the Israelites, which we're coming into that time very soon. Okay, so seeing this happen before the New York camp and the Chicago camp, now is more than enough excuse not to be in a woe is me spirit. You know, is no longer we're in the time of being in a mournful spirit, man. Now we're in the cheerful spirit, because we're about to get up out of here. Okay, just like the Dallas camp put together a lesson called "We Need to Get Up Out of Here." And lo and behold, here it is. You have chariots that show up over the camps. Okay, because every camp, really, you have chariots that would appear over us, especially our camp here in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, you have chariots that appear over us as well. Okay, and that's just the Lord showing us that He is near. Okay, because the chariots is what's going to be our ticket out of here. That is what is going to bring us up out of this land when this land is completely decimated and destroyed by way of fire. Okay, because every single inch of America is going to be consumed by fire. All right, and the only way out of this place, America, or Babylon the Great, is by way of those chariots. Okay, because Jake can't save themselves, man. They won't be able to save themselves, no matter where they go or they try to seclude themselves towards or try to escape towards. We're really waiting on Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, man. That's where our salvation is coming from. All right, and we wholly trust in that the chariots are coming to get us out of here, to snatch us away from this land. Okay? And that's going to happen when the destruction commences. That's going to be during the time when these nations decide to completely bomb America and to shoot the ICBM thermonuclear missiles over here to this land to destroy it. Okay? And we're waiting on that day. Okay? Because the day that they decide to do that, the day that they decide to completely destroy America and to attack America with missiles, that's going to be the day and the same time when we're going to be delivered. Okay? And that's the reason why I got this picture here in front of the audience here, or I have it posted here on the video, is because this, what you're seeing right now, this is the doorway toward the ark. Okay? And that door is open right now. Okay? It's still open. But pretty soon it's going to close. Okay? And the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah is going to be the one to close that door, just how he did when Noah had gathered together his family and the animals 2 by 2s, the creatures, the living creatures, he gathered them 2 by 2s, and the Lord shut the door behind them. Okay? So same thing with this. When all hell breaks loose, the Lord's going to shut that door. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the precepts I have here. Let me get the book of Luke. All right, it's Luke chapter 22. And this is at verse 25. It says, and he said unto them, well, Slacky, I might got the wrong one. It's 21, 25, Slacky. I'm at 22. All right, it's book of Luke chapter 21, verse 25. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon, in which we have seen that. Okay? There have been signs in the sun and the moon, right? You had solar eclipses, you had lunar eclipses, blood moons. We've seen that, man. And right on time, right after we got those signs, this is what you see happening. Okay? You see in Revelation 12, chapter 12, verse 12 come into play. The devil having great wrath because he know that he had but a short time. Okay? So again, it says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's heart failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Okay? Verse 27. It says, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Right. And that is soon to come. The Son of Man being Yahweh Shai coming with the clouds, right? In which the clouds is not a literal cloud. Okay? That's talking about the chariots of the Lord. Where these people call so-called UFOs. Okay? Because it's no longer a secret anymore. You know, back then, I would say, like near the 90s, I would say, 90s, late 90s, or in the 90s going to the early 2000s, you know, you would speak of so-called UFOs, and the people would look at you like you're bugged out. Or they're deem you as psychotic, so to speak. But now everybody's talking about the chariots. Okay? Or they're talking about what they call so-called UFOs. And they'll say that, you know, they'll see a sighting of a so-called UFO, you know, and they'll believe that it's little green men with bug eyes that's in those vehicles. Okay? But we understand who's operating those vehicles. We understand who's operating those those identifiable flying objects, all right, IFOs. So again, in verse 27 it said, then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. All right, and a part of that, those signs in the heavens are the chariot sightings. Okay, so when you see these things, look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So our redemption is drawing ever so close, man. Okay. See, now we're in overdrive, since we know this. Okay. So these are what the apostle elders say. These are exciting times. Okay. Now I'll move on from there. I'm gonna get the book of Revelations, chapter 11. All right, Revelation chapter 11, verse 11. It says, and after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Right. And them that is talking about the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay. Because now we are standing on our feet. All right. Why? Because it was a point in time where we fell away, pursuant to 2 Thessalonians, and now we're standing up again. Okay. Which means that we're coming back into our nationality, and now we know the truth, and we know who our power is, and we know his name. Okay. And it said great fear fell upon them with Solomon. And that's why you're seeing things move the way that they are right now, because Esau is headstrong on trying to fulfill his agenda, because he know, like, again, pursuant to our Revelations 12 and 12, he know that he have but a short time. Okay. And he's going to try to rush this, man. See, now Esau is in the mode of speedily trying to forward his agenda, his New World Order agenda, which is going to come by way of the mark of the beast, which is known as the microchip. Okay. Verse 12, it says, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And that's going to be a beautiful sight, man. Okay. You're going to hear Yahweh Bashmel Shah, this loud, roaring voice saying, come up hither. Okay. And that's going to be the time where you're going to see the elect being taken up into the chariots. Okay. And also, to add the cherry on top, our enemies are going to be hopeless. All right. You might have enemies that you have in the world, right? And really, this is on a broader sense. All right. Yeah, you got enemies in the world that you have to deal with. But really, the enemies are pursuant to who? Esau, Edom, the other nations, and even 2/3 of our people. Okay. Every single person that is in those lots are going to see us being taken up into the chariots. Okay, and the Lord's going to make sure of that, man. All right, because the Lord is good at setting up scenarios. Okay, so again, that's going to be a great occurrence, man. All right, it's going to be a sight to see. Okay, verse 13 says, in the same hour, right, in that same time, was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and an earthquake was slain of men 7,000. And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the Most High of heaven. That's right. So at that same time, right, the same hour, is going to be the destruction. Okay, America's going to be destroyed, and also other parts of the world are going to be destroyed. Okay. Where Esau has his foothold in. Okay? Because this earth has to be utterly cleansed by fire. And the Lord's going to make sure of that, man. Okay. Now move on from there. I'm gonna get the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 2. It says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. Because what they're looking for is a so-called white man with long hair coming down on a white horse with angels that look like babies with diapers. That's what they're looking for. Okay? But really, the return of the Lord consists of chariots, fleets of chariots, all right, fire, flaming breath, like the scriptures say, and all of that, man. The sword. That's what the coming of the Lord is, man, and that's what it's going to comprise of. So that's why they're going to be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond what they look for. Okay. So it's going to be far, far beyond their imagination. Okay. Because when they see the men of the Lord being taken up into the chariots, that's going to be a strange word towards them. All right. Verse 3, it says, and they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and the proverb of reproach. Because when they see the men of the Lord being taken up, the same men that they looked at and disregarded and laughed at and scoffed, they're going to be in anguish at the sight of the same men that they put in derision being taken up into the chariots and escaping the destruction. Meanwhile, them being left behind to suffer. Okay. Now we'll move on from there. We'll grab our Psalm chapter 68. Let's see, Psalm 68 and 13. Right, Psalm 68, verse 13. It says, though ye have lying among the pots, yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. Okay. Now, this is going directly into the chariots. Okay, because the chariots are comprised of that silver, gold, all right, diverse colors. Because the chariots, they're not bound by the elements of this world. Okay, and when I say that, I mean that the capabilities or the things that those chariots are able to do, you know, this current life that we're living in, because we're bound by the third dimension. Okay. So you have to abide by the law of the third dimension. All right, which is a part of that is what they call aerodynamics. Okay. The operations of the winds in the air. All right. The chariots don't have to do that. All right. They can do whatever they want to do, because the chariots of the Lord, so-called UFOs, are of a spiritual entity. Those things, those vehicles, said things, meant to say vehicles, Slovakia. Yeah, those vehicles, the so-called UFOs, they're able to do much more in a multitude of things that a regular aircraft can do. Okay, that's why Esau does not stand a chance against the chariots. And it's foolish of him to even stand up against the chariots, because that's why there's plans and also preparations of a space force. Okay, why would they create a space force? All right, they created a space force for the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai. That's why they're doing that. Okay. Now we're going from there, from the book of Psalms. We're getting the book of Revelation, chapter 15. Right, Revelation chapter 15, verse 2. And this is what John was seeing on the Isle of Patmos when he was exiled there on the Isle of Patmos. And he was seeing, from this scripture here in chapter 15, he was seeing the destruction, okay? And he saw it from a great distance, okay? Now, this is the vision that he received, in which he saw the burning and the lake of fire that was here on the soils of America. Because when we're taken up into the chariots and delivered out of this destruction, we're going to witness America being set ablaze, okay, as if it was a lake of fire. Now, I'm going to use this example, right? I'm going to just, use this for an example. Now, you have a grill, right? So you have a grill, you have your charcoal, you put your starter fluid in there. Now, as soon as you light that fire and you let it catch fire and you see it set ablaze, if you look at it, right, you see it as the fires being as waters. Okay, the way that it moves and operates, when especially when the wind picks up on the fire, right, and you see the fire move in a certain direction, that fire looks just like how water moves. Okay, and that's just using that as an example. So that's why when John, when he was seeing America being set ablaze, when he saw America on fire, it looked just like the fire looked just like waters. Okay, so that's why he said it was as a lake of fire. Okay, because he saw the whole of America being just like that. Every single inch of America was completely consumed with fire. Okay, so again, at Revelation chapter 15, verse 2, it says, "And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire." So he was looking down at the destruction from the chariot. Okay, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and right, it was the elect that were there, that were also witnessing the destruction of America, right, and over his image and over his mark, right, and that's the mark of the beast is known as the hour of temptation in Revelation chapter 3, verse 9 and 10. Okay, so the ones who have gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark are going to be the ones that are going to be able to make it on the chariots. Okay, reading on, it says, "And over the number of his name, and stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High." Okay, now see, I'm gonna grab one last precept. I'm gonna close it out on this. Psalm chapter 91. Let's see, slack here. Find a spot here. Right, so Psalm chapter 91. And this is at verse 8. And it's a simple scripture, a simple precept. It says, "Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation." Okay, so with our eyes, we're going to behold the reward of the wicked. Okay, which is what? Fire. Same thing that happened to Sodom and Gomorrah when it was destroyed by fire and brimstone. And likewise also how the Lord destroyed the wicked out of the earth by way of the flood, okay, which was the first death. And the destruction by fire, which is going to come upon the soils of America and also other parts of the world to destroy Esau and the wicked. That's going to be the second death, all right? And so, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, concerning the chariots, hey, we're ready to get up out of here, man. This is it. This is all I can say. This is it, man. This is it. We are here. Okay, so with that, Lord's word is uplifting to the brothers, man. Uplifting to the sincere Akim that's listening and tuning in. Also, Lord's word is edifying as well to you sincere brothers tuning in, and also listen also to the ones who believe as well. Your men, women, and children that believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and His word and His truth. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone and rule well to this very day. And also Shalom, peace and safety, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's laboring as well in this work. Giving your diligence to make your calling and election sure, and faith and truth and sincerity and all charity. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.